Your eyes are the scouts, your ears the sentries. Watch the subtle shifts. The slight hesitation before a word, the micro frown that betrays discomfort, the pause that signals calculation. Every detail is a map of intention. Recognize the invisible war. People are constantly negotiating power, sometimes consciously, often unconsciously, and your role is to read their moves before they commit. When a colleague interrupts you aggressively, instead of reacting impulsively, notice the posture, the tone, the timing. A calm, measured response diffuses the power play while giving you insight into their strategy. Weak, I got defensive and snapped. Strong, I observed the provocation, maintained composure, and reframed the interaction to my advantage. The cost of blindness is steep. Ignoring signals allows manipulation to seep unnoticed. Allies can betray, rivals can undermine, and even casual acquaintances reveal patterns that shape opportunities or threats. Every slight unobserved, every expression missed, is a crack in your fortress. To maintain sovereignty, classify behavior immediately. Is the gesture defensive or assertive? Does the tone convey honesty or concealment? Translate these micro-actions into mental intelligence that informs your next step. Feed your mind with observation, not assumption. Let curiosity sharpen discernment. Instant assessment is your weapon. Scan conversations as if they were tactical maps. Decode gestures with precision. Annotate cues silently, and classify people into categories of intent and reliability. Like a commander analyzing terrain, identify risk areas and safe zones. Prioritize awareness over reaction. Use stillness as leverage. When others rush to fill silence with words, you gain insight into motives. Your calm presence pressures truth to surface, revealing more than any interrogation could. Recognize the difference between alignment and pretense, between overt and covert signaling. Leadership begins with perception. Control over observation translates to control over response. Authority emerges from clarity, not aggression. Stand firm as a throne, unshaken by fleeting provocations. In one meeting, when a peer openly questioned your plan, you absorbed the critique without emotional disruption. Your calm demeanor reframed the discussion, compelling them to reconsider and adjust their position without overt confrontation. Every interaction becomes a training ground for the mind, every observation a sharpening of the instinct to read character instantly. Command your senses, scan, classify, and interpret. Every gesture is a message, every silence a test. The world is filled with subtle signals, and only those who prioritize perception gain true influence. Let every glance inform strategy, every word reveal intent, and every pause guide your next maneuver. Awareness is both sword and shield, guiding action while preserving your throne. Strength lies in observation before intervention, in patience before reaction, in insight before judgment. Observe in silence. Command the mind. Rule without deception. Your mind is your citadel, and the first step in reading people is defending it with unwavering discipline. Every distraction, no matter how minor, is a potential breach through which misinformation or manipulation can slip. Guarding the gates begins with relentless attention. Your senses are the sentries, scanning for subtle cues that reveal intent. A fleeting glance, a twitch of the lip, a pause in speech, all are signals on the battlefield of influence. If you allow even brief lapses in focus, you surrender control over the first and most critical terrain, your perception. Mapping behavior is your reconnaissance mission. Human cues form patterns like trails through enemy territory, and learning to chart them with precision is essential. Noticing consistencies between words and actions, between tone and gesture, A colleague might agree to a plan verbally, yet their body subtly recoils, signaling hesitation or concealed resistance. By tracking these micro-indicators across interactions, you build a tactical map of character, motives, and likely future behavior. Every observation sharpens your strategic foresight, giving you the ability to anticipate moves before they unfold. Strong, I analyze their patterns. Weak, I just try to guess. Sovereignty over thought ensures that only relevant intelligence reaches your decision-making. Filter the noise, discard assumptions unsupported by observation, and resist impulses to react to every stimulus. Unfiltered perception allows distortion, creating blind spots where threats can gather unnoticed. Control your mental borders as rigorously as a commander maintains the walls of a fortress. Let the mind's citadel remain unbreached. Every thought admitted without scrutiny must be weighed, classified, and positioned within the greater tactical picture. Even in disagreement, mastery of the mind preserves authority. When a peer challenges your proposal in a meeting, do not respond immediately with emotion. Instead, observe posture, tone, and timing. A calm acknowledgement of their perspective while silently mapping their intent maintains your dominance and clarity. This measured response transforms potential conflict into a source of insight, exposing motives and strengthening your control. The throne of your mind is never ceded through rash words or reactive judgment. Command your internal battlefield, train attention as a weapon, scan for patterns as intelligence, and control thought as a ruler governs subjects. Every micro-expression is a message, every hesitation a potential signal, and every interaction an opportunity to strengthen your perception. Sovereignty over your mind translates into sovereignty over outcomes. The observer who masters this terrain shapes the battlefield before the first move is made. Fortify the mind. Observe all. Rule without compromise. The first light of day is the opening volley in every social campaign, and those who command their mornings command the battlefield of perception. Every dawn presents a window where attentiveness can be sharpened, where focus can be honed before the noise of the world intrudes. Ritual readiness is the armor you wear into these early encounters. A structured morning primes the mind to detect subtle shifts in tone, hesitation in speech, or the quiet signaling of intent. Without preparation, you enter the day disarmed, missing the cues that separate the influential from the manipulated. Organize your environment, your body, and your attention. Treat each morning as reconnaissance before engagement. Early assessment is your scouting mission. Observe allies and competitors with precision, noting their energy, their posture, the rhythm of their speech. A collaborator who greets you with warmth but avoids eye contact may harbor reservations, while a rival who oversells confidence may conceal insecurity. The first interactions of the day reveal strategy, intention, and character more clearly than hours of conversation later. Capture these micro-indicators as intelligence. Catalog them mentally and adjust your approach accordingly. Weak. I just notice people. Strong. I interpret signals with accuracy. Seizing initiative begins with mastery over your own timing. A disciplined morning allows you to enter interactions alert, composed, and proactive. Those who control their first hours of light dictate the tempo of engagements that follow. By structuring preparation as a tactical ritual, stretching, reviewing priorities, scanning communications, you ensure your perception operates at peak efficiency. A micro-example: when a team member challenges your project plan during a morning briefing, you absorb their argument calmly, note subtle hesitations in delivery, and respond with measured clarity, converting potential friction into insight without conceding authority. Command your first hours as if they were the opening moves of a campaign. Sharpen focus, interpret early signals, and assert control over the pace of engagement. Each morning mastered becomes a repeated advantage, strengthening your capacity to read and influence in real time. The battlefield of perception rewards those who rise first, observe first, and act with precision. Conquer the dawn, command the day, seize advantage immediately. Stillness is the weapon of those who understand that haste betrays intention. Enter every interaction like a predator poised in the underbrush, scanning, listening, waiting. Observation before reaction is your first offensive move. Speak only after the other has revealed their hand. The impatient announce strategy through tremors of the voice, fleeting shifts in posture, or rushed gestures. Silence is not indecision. It is pressure, a controlled force that compels truth to surface. Do not fill the void, occupy it with awareness. Micro-expressions are the flickers of hidden maps, each subtle twitch a route to understanding. Eyebrow lifts, micro-smiles, slight tightening of the jaw, these are not accidents but signals. In stillness they become legible. Study them as a general study of the terrain before advancing. Every hesitation, every fleeting expression is intelligence waiting to be harvested. Capture it, catalog it in your mind, and allow it to guide your next move. Weak, I notice faces. Strong, I interpret micro-signals to discern intent. Patience converts quiet into pressure. Those who rush into speech or action expose vulnerability. The calm dominates the battlefield of interaction. Maintain composure as others flinch and stumble. A micro-example. A colleague challenges your proposal during a tense meeting. Instead of immediate rebuttal, you pause, allow their argument to fully manifest, and respond with measured clarity, deflecting tension while revealing inconsistencies in their position. This deliberate pause turns reaction into control, anticipation into authority. Every encounter can be a duel of perception. Weaponize stillness to force revelation, convert observation into leverage, and transform patience into power. Command the silence and the battlefield bends to your awareness. Let the predator's pause become your habitual posture, a rhythm of strategy that turns the hurried into the readable, the loud into the transparent. Pause, observe, dominate with calm. Clarity is forged through ruthless elimination. Treat your mind like a battlefield and your perception like a sharpened blade. Any distraction, assumption, or bias is enemy territory to be cleared. Focus on truth alone. Reputation, titles, and hearsay are camouflage. Only observable actions reveal strategy. Watch what is done, not what is claimed. Every handshake, every glance, every repeated pattern is intelligence. Catalog it, interpret it without the fog of expectation, and let action, not assumption, dictate your judgment. Emotional filters are liabilities. Allowing sympathy, anger, or excitement to color perception is equivalent to sending scouts blind into enemy lines. Neutralize these distortions. Observe from a distance when necessary, detach and see without preference. Recognize that others attempt to manipulate perception intentionally. False signals, misleading gestures, and overemphasized promises are the fog that hides intent. Do not chase illusions. Identify them, mark them as irrelevant, and proceed with clear-sighted focus. Weak, I try to see clearly. Strong, I remove all obfuscation and act on observable truth. Micro-example: during a negotiation, a colleague embellishes past achievements to gain favor. Rather than react emotionally or accept the claim, you catalog the observable facts, note inconsistencies, and respond only to verified behavior. This neutralizes distraction while maintaining authority and composure. In doing so, clarity becomes a weapon, cutting through the noise of manipulation and emotion. Your mental battlefield is secured by decisive pruning. Ignore irrelevant information, strip away emotional distortion, and disregard false signals. In this space, truth is amplified, strategy becomes visible, and your ability to read others is uncompromised. Remove what clouds judgment, and what remains is insight sharpened to precision. Command the space between perception and action. Let no illusion pass unnoticed. Cut the noise, see clearly, dominate with truth. Authority is forged in silence and carried through presence. Treat yourself as a throne room in motion. Every gesture, every pause, every measured step communicates power without a single word. Project presence. Enter a room with calm certainty and notice how glances shift, how subtle admissions surface. The confident observer draws truth from the hesitant, the cautious, the ambitious. Your posture, tone, and attention are instruments of command. Wield them deliberately. Authority is inferred, never demanded. Do not announce mastery. Display it through subtle dominion over space and attention. Speak with deliberate pacing, act with intentionality, and let silence punctuate your presence. When disagreement arises, remain steady. If a colleague challenges a proposal, acknowledge the statement, maintain posture, and respond with measured facts. Their frustration becomes visible. Your authority remains intact. In these moments, observation and restraint convert challenge into insight. Your demeanor is your armor. Every interaction is a test of strategic composure. Control expression, project presence, and display authority consistently. Let perception work as a weapon. Those who encounter you should sense mastery and respect instinctively. Dominate the social battlefield, not through force, but through the weight of presence. Calm, deliberate, unreadable. The throne you inhabit is visible to all. Command, silently, reveal authority. Rule with presence. Awareness is the sharpest weapon. Hesitation is its enemy. Train your mind like a predator stalking its terrain, alert to the slightest ripple of deceit. Identify weak points immediately. Every person carries a vulnerability, often masked by confidence or charm. Observe posture, tone, hesitation, and inconsistencies. These are the cracks in the armor, the subtle openings through which strategy can flow. Act with mental agility. Weak. I notice when people seem off. Strong. I detect hidden intentions before they manifest. The difference lies in speed and precision. Neutralize threats early. Small signs, an evasive glance, a slight overcorrection, an unusual insistence can escalate into significant loss if ignored. Treat these indicators as early intelligence, not drama. Respond decisively, yet silently, like a hunter. Wait for the precise moment when intervention yields maximum advantage. Premature action exposes intent. Delay risks harm. Patience is a weapon. Discernment sharpens it. Each encounter becomes a battlefield. Each interaction a tactical assessment. Act with silent precision. When opportunity aligns with advantage, strike mentally and strategically. Your response need not be public or confrontational. Often, subtle realignment, a change in access, or a shift in authority neutralizes the threat efficiently. For example, if a colleague undermines a project quietly, address discrepancies calmly in the next team review. Their attempt to dominate surfaces, yet your composure maintains control and authority. The goal is mastery over perception and circumstance. Your mind is the assassin's blade, swift, accurate, and unseen until necessary. Observe continuously, interpret with ruthless clarity, and act only when the conditions guarantee effectiveness. Mental discipline, focus, and calculated decisiveness separate the vigilant from the overwhelmed. Every interaction is an opportunity to assert sovereignty over chaos. Let instinct and reason converge, sharpened by experience and awareness. Strike silently, secure advantage, command without warning. Understanding is the weapon that precedes power. Judgment without insight is a blind strike. Approach each interaction as a hunter studies prey, not to devour, but to anticipate movement. Mirror psychology acts as your reconnaissance. Reflect subtly, allow their desires and fears to surface through gestures, tone, and focus. Every hesitation, every emphasis betrays priorities. Weak, I think they want something. Strong, I observe what they pursue relentlessly. The difference lies in precise perception and disciplined observation. Analyze intent ruthlessly. Words are camouflage. Actions are the true map of motives. A compliment may hide ambition. A concession may mask strategy. Align observation with reasoning. Track consistency. Examine follow-through. And weigh energy spent against claims made. Detect patterns quickly. Motives become visible when speech diverges from behavior. Intent analysis is your lens for clarity. Reacting emotionally is a liability. Understanding without attachment grants sovereignty. Engage with control. Knowledge is leverage only when applied strategically. Respond with measured signals, guided by insight, not impulse. If a colleague presses for influence through debate, acknowledge points neutrally, allow their logic to unfold, then assert authority calmly with facts and structure. Your poise transforms confrontation into assessment. Interaction becomes a chessboard where every move anticipates consequences, every pause preserves dominance, every mirrored cue feeds information into your strategic calculus. Master empathy as a tactical instrument, never as compromise. Observe silently, interpret objectively, and calibrate responses to maintain advantage. The wolf within seeks to know, not to punish. Understanding the landscape of human intent allows you to maneuver without exposure. Let subtle reflection reveal fears. Let meticulous attention detect hidden agendas. And let controlled engagement convert knowledge into quiet command. Each encounter is a study, each observation a reinforcement of sovereignty. See clearly, act deliberately, command through understanding. Every move in life carries weight. Hesitation or impulsiveness becomes a liability. Treat interactions as a chessboard, each conversation a piece with influence over the outcome. Recognize patterns in human behavior. Repetition is strategy, and those who repeat without variation reveal priorities. Track gestures, speech cadence, and timing. Weak, they often act this way. Strong, they advance the same objectives through predictable means. Precision in observation converts repetition into foresight, giving you the advantage before engagement begins. Predictive thinking is your tool for mastery. Calculate consequences before acting. Each word, each nod, each silence has potential impact. Consider not only immediate reaction, but the ripple effect across future interactions. A colleague's flustered response to critique may indicate insecurity that will manifest in decision-making. Anticipate these developments, align your moves accordingly, and preserve momentum. Strategic foresight allows you to navigate complex social terrains without exposure or error. Sacrifice becomes an instrument of power. Not every minor signal warrants attention. Choose what merits response and what is best ignored. By letting insignificant disruptions pass, you maintain focus on critical objectives, conserving energy for decisive action. For example, if a subordinate offers repeated, trivial objections in a team meeting, address only patterns that threaten outcomes, neutralizing tension without surrendering authority. Every calculated omission strengthens overall positioning, reinforcing your capacity to dominate the board. Control your tempo, engage deliberately, withdraw when necessary, and measure influence like a master plotting endgame sequences. The chess metaphor is literal. Pieces serve functions, pawns distract, rooks defend, bishops navigate influence lines, and the king represents your sovereignty. Your awareness of the board ensures that no move is wasted and no threat is underestimated. Observation, anticipation, and calculated restraint together form a strategy that converts awareness into advantage. See the board. Move with intent. Win without haste. Discipline shapes power more than talent ever will. Treat your mind as a forge. Each day, each interaction is a strike shaping steel. Begin with mental drills. Visualize conversations, simulate challenges, and anticipate hidden motives. Practice reading subtle shifts in tone, body language, and hesitation. Weak, notice if they seem off. Strong, register micro shifts and adjust strategy immediately. Each simulation builds neural pathways, transforming analysis into instinct and instinct into a reliable weapon. Physical anchors reinforce mental clarity. Stand with shoulders squared, spine erect and feet grounded. Control breathing to maintain calm under pressure. Direct gaze without intimidation, scanning for intention without distraction. Eye contact signals attention, posture signals authority, and measured breathing anchors focus. When a coworker challenges your plan in a meeting, respond with calm precision, acknowledging points without conceding control. Your body communicates readiness to observe, assess, and act, even before words are spoken. Consistency compounds strength. Perform rituals daily, review interactions, track patterns, and note reactions. Repeat drills until perception becomes reflexive, resilience automatic. Each morning, run mental scenarios like a general reviewing strategy before battle. Each evening, reflect on what cues were missed or misread. Over weeks, intuition sharpens. Over months, a single glance reveals motives that once required hours to decipher. Reliability emerges from repetition, not occasional brilliance. Forge the mind relentlessly. Train posture, breathe, and repeat until instinct governs judgment. Sacrifice comfort for awareness. Protect mental territory as you would a throne under siege. Each disciplined repetition turns analysis into action, and action into dominance over uncertainty. The path is unglamorous but essential. No shortcut replaces daily sharpening. Strike the mind, master the moment, own the outcome. Presence is your ultimate weapon. Move through the room as if you occupy every space yet belong to none. A predator observing the hunt without revealing intent. Your influence is invisible. Gestures, tone, and posture guide outcomes while your mind remains untouched. Witness interactions unfold without interference. Others reveal strategy, ambition, and weakness simply through routine action, unaware they are disclosing their hand. Weak, try to notice cues. Strong, extract truth from motion without altering the flow. Every glance, every pause becomes data for calculation. Master chaos by embracing unpredictability. Social landscapes shift like battlefields. Under sudden storm, threats appear where none were expected. Observe without judgment, measure without reaction. When a heated debate erupts in a meeting, remain composed. Allow tension to expose intentions. A colleague overplays a position, subtly revealing priorities and fears. Intervene only when it serves advantage. Otherwise, let events display themselves. Every interaction becomes a controlled experiment in understanding human behavior. Your mind, the silent command center. Awareness is armor. Like a fortress surrounded by invisible walls, nothing unseen or deceitful penetrates. Your posture signals readiness. Your expressions remain neutral, and your attention absorbs rather than reacts. Physical control, calm breathing, balanced stance, focused gaze anchors cognition. Mental exercises from prior rituals sharpen perception, converting observation into instinct. Repetition solidifies skill. Constant practice transforms vigilance into a natural extension of presence. Forge untouchability through integration. Mental drills, physical anchors, and disciplined observation converge into a singular presence. Become the apex observer, commanding yet undetected, influential yet detached. Each interaction is assessed, each signal interpreted, and each risk mitigated before it arrives. Others unknowingly align to your rhythm, revealing intentions without confrontation. Your sovereignty lies in invisible mastery, resilience reinforced by continuous refinement. Claim the apex position. Observe without compromise, influence without intrusion, and protect the mind as the ultimate shield. Let your presence be silent authority, your attention the unseen blade. See you all, move none, remain untouchable. Silent dominance is your armor and your weapon. Enter a room and immediately map the territory. Who speaks first, who falters under scrutiny, who conceals their ambition. Influence flows not through coercion, but through your presence. A subtle nod, a measured pause, a gaze that observes without judgment. These create ripples that others respond to, often without awareness. When a disagreement surfaces, a colleague challenges a plan, remain composed. Let their words expose priority and fear. Respond with controlled clarity, asserting direction without anger or intrusion. Your authority grows in silence, reinforced by mastery of observation. Transformative awareness is the apex of this path. Every gesture, every word, and every hesitation becomes terrain in your strategic landscape. Where others see casual interactions, you see battlegrounds of influence and opportunity. Decisions once clouded by uncertainty are now informed by rapid cognition. Intuition is backed by discipline, experience, and keen focus. Mental drills, physical anchors, and measured attention have fused into a single coherent lens. You read subtle shifts in posture, micro-expressions, and tone as easily as you once noted a chessboard's arrangement. Move without leaving traces, influence without detection, and navigate chaos as if it were scripted. Your senses absorb what others cannot perceive. Your mind calculates outcomes before they manifest. The apex observer operates with calm precision, turning complexity into clarity. Presence becomes your shield. Knowledge becomes your blade. Influence does not require confrontation. You orchestrate interactions with the quiet assurance of a master predator, integrating skill, awareness, and discipline into a singular, untouchable form. Command your environment. Observe every motion, measure every signal, and let perception guide action. Remain unshakable, silent, and decisive. Integrate cognition, dominance, and awareness until they become indistinguishable facets of a single power. Converge into the final form. Read before being read. Influence without intervention. Move with unerring calculation, commanding arenas of life with quiet supremacy. Every glance, gesture, and word is mastered. Every interaction is absorbed. Every intention understood. The predator within has reached full perception, untouchable and sovereign. See you all, know all. Move as the apex. Move through every interaction as if you are a commander surveying the battlefield. Each glance, each pause, each word spoken is terrain to be mapped, understood, and controlled. Daily vigilance is non-negotiable. Every conversation is a training ground to sharpen perception, refine instinct, and strengthen mental armor. Weak, pay attention to people. Strong, Capture intent before action surfaces. Observe micro-expressions, the subtle tightening of a jaw, the hesitation in a voice, the shift of weight as indicators of thought and motive. Allow no detail to escape your awareness. Complacency is surrender. One overlooked cue is a foothold given to uncertainty, a crack in the foundation of influence. The mind that relaxes its guard risks being outmaneuvered in social and professional arenas alike. Each gesture, each slip of posture, each fleeting reaction contains intelligence. Absorb it methodically. Treat unpredictability as a test of your readiness. Mastery is maintained moment to moment. It is not a fixed achievement, but a continuous exercise of perception. Silent command is your weapon. Influence flows from awareness, not interference. In a meeting, when a disagreement arises, listen first, measure second, respond with precision. Let words reveal priorities and fears. Let your calm decisively redirect focus. Your presence becomes the pivot upon which outcomes hinge. Control does not require noise or force. It requires clarity of mind and consistency of attention. Navigate conversations as a tactician navigates terrain. Know the paths, anticipate the obstacles, and guide movement without revealing your strategy. Rule without misjudgment by treating each encounter as sovereign territory. Observe every nuance, interpret every signal, and respond with unwavering composure. Let each moment refine your skill, reinforcing authority and insight. Daily vigilance prevents errors, strengthens mental acuity, and preserves advantage. Overlook nothing, anticipate all, and act with deliberate precision. Every interaction becomes a micro-battle you command, each subtle cue a piece of intelligence that consolidates your power. Observe in silence, command the mind, rule without deception.